Major update, guys. Christian Idowu's killer is officially free, and his story on how he killed this girl has completely changed. And I must tell you, it is looking like he's about to get away with murder. For those who don't remember this story, check the comments. I'm going to drop a link to the previous video. Otherwise, let's continue. The last we heard about this case, Ayomide Adeleye was handed to the police. He was in police custody. He made his confession and admitted to killing Christian Idowu in his home and requesting for ransom from his family. Remember, he was tracked down by the Nigerian army, and after they did what they did, he was eventually handed to the police. However, now we are hearing that his story has officially changed. And I think his lawyer is putting up a good defense for him because it seems like he's about to get away with murder. His bail hearing was successful because obviously he's now a free man walking freely in the streets of Lagos. But that doesn't mean the case is over. It's still in court. And he's going to court to, plead his case. And also he's sticking to an entirely different story from what he initially confessed. If you remember, he said with his own mouth that it was raining. Christian Idowu came to his mother's shop to stand to wait till the rain is over so she could continue to where she was going to. He saw this as an opportunity and invited her inside his house so that she could chill till the rain stops. And then, out of the blue, he corners her, strangles her, and she dies. He uses her phone, chats her mother up, and began demanding a ransom. This was what he confessed. This was what he admitted to. But the problem now is, in cases like this, when a lawyer is involved, especially a good one, all his confessions would be tossed out because they would say he did not make it in the presence of a lawyer. And they will most likely argue that he made the confession out of duress or under duress. I'm assuming that is what his lawyer did. Maybe that statement he made would still be admissible in court, but I'm assuming his lawyer would claim that he just made it because he was scared or because the police told him that that's what he should say. However, he has a new story as to what happened the day Christian Idowu died in his house. And this story is very familiar. It's giving how to get away with murder. So you see, the best way to get away with killing somebody is by pinning it on someone else. And that is what Ayomide is doing, apparently. Now, his new story claims that it was Christian Idowu who reached out to him, who kept forcing herself on him, requesting him to come and repair her phone, that her phone is bad. All the while he was in school, he claimed he told her to find somebody else in the corridor to repair the phone. But she apparently held on to the sport phone till when he came back from school. And then he tells her that, I'm home now, you can come with your phone, let me repair. Because he repairs phone. Then Christina comes to his house. He's looking at the phone, trying to fix it. Christina sees a necklace in his neck, and Christina tries to reach for the necklace almost flirtingly or seductively. I don't even know what that meant. But in the process of Christina trying to reach out to the necklace, in the chain in his neck, he elbows her, to shove her hands away, like, oh, please leave my necklace alone. And then his elbow hits her accidentally. She sleeps like a Z-World movie, rolled around and then hit her head somewhere, and then she fainted. That is his new narrative now. But it doesn't end there. He claims after she fell, he was scared. He ran out, panting. Then he came back, saw that she was bleeding. That was when he knew she had died. And so he ran out again to go and tell a friend. This is where he's now dragging in someone else. So this so-called friend, he claims is an Egbon, some area papa of Ikorodu, I don't know. He's claiming that he has some sort of godfather or area papa or an older person he looks up to in the neighborhood whom he met and told that this is the situation, that the girl who came to his house to repair phone accidentally hit her head on the ground and now she's dead. The quote-unquote Egbon came to his house, saw Christina's body, and was like, oh, she's dead. You have to bury her. He also claims that it was the Egbon that dug the grave and buried her. And the Egbon took her mobile phone from him. Although he now claimed that the Egbon brought the mobile phone back and gave it to him. And that was when the Nigerian army were able to track him and arrest him. This, allegedly, is his new story. And this is the one he will be arguing with in court in his defense. Let me know your thoughts, though. Do you think this holds water? Because I have thoughts. First of all, this is what I see. This is what I feel. I feel like he's trying, or his lawyer is trying to get him a lesser sentencing. Because even with this story, he's still not going scot-free. Point being that in his new story still, he caused her death. Your hand hit her, but you not hit her. The point is, your actions, even in your current narrative, still led to her death. So if this is a story your lawyer told you, I'm assuming that, okay, they are just trying to play it down a bit, which would mean the prosecution is arguing a first-degree murder. They're most likely arguing that her death was premeditated. And if well proven in court that this is first-degree murder, he would be facing 25 to life, if not a death sentence. So the lawyer know that that was going to be the case. And now they're just giving him this story to dilute it, to make it look like a third-degree murder, to make it look like manslaughter. That way he gets a lesser sentencing. I don't believe this is how she passed. Given all the shenanigans that came and the controversies surrounding him with his story and all the other people he most likely killed, I don't believe that it was an accident. I believe this is his lawyer trying to narrow or lessen his sentencing from what he would suffer in a first-degree murder to what he might get for third-degree or manslaughter, which is what his story is giving. This is the problem with his new narrative. This Egbon that somehow, some way suddenly appeared, was he the one that extorted money from the victim's parents? Because we remember that after Christian Idowu was killed, her mother got WhatsApp messages with her phone, somebody requesting 300,000 naira, somebody requesting 10,000 naira. And that was how he was even traced, because the army traced those money to a betting platform, to a betting account that happened to be in his mobile phone. Is he now telling us that when the Egbon collected the phone from him, also collected his own phone to request money from the family? Also, who then prepped the girl's body? This is an image of Christina Idowu being prepped up, snapped, and sent to her family as proof that she has been kidnapped and that she's alive and that they should send the money. Would this have been done if you killed her by accident? Unless he's now trying to say it was the Egbon who did it. You see how these people come up with stories and then they put a totally unusual name. They just throw it to somebody. Because I think that's what will happen. If all of these things come out, an argument to his new story, he will claim it's the quote-unquote Egbon that did it all. And that's how you get away with murder. Just pin it on someone else that probably doesn't exist. And let the police and the persecution be the one to go and look for who that person is. Because he's claiming that the Egbon has run away. But there's so many things that was done, not just the death of this girl. True, even Vanguard did say that, yes, his original confession claimed that she came to him to repair phone. So let's assume that that's the truth. But he still went on to claim that he killed her out of the fact that he was struggling financially. This is what Vanguard reported. Although in his credits, there is no official video or recording of him confessing. I don't remember. I think there is. I don't remember seeing. But we only saw articles and what was written about it. And this is Vanguard and this is him in a totally different outfit. I don't remember seeing this picture back then. And this is part of what he admitted to. This is how it was said he confessed to killing her. You can pause to read. He originally did say she came to him to repair the phone. And he did what he did. But suddenly now he's claiming she tried to take a necklace and he shoved her accidentally. She hit her head and passed. I understand that he is putting up a defense. I understand this. One thing I know for a fact is when a criminal is, or when a suspect, in this case, let's treat him as a suspect because innocent until proven guilty, right? Even though the odds are against him. When a suspect is being taken to court, they want to put up the best possible defense, the best story. They come up with the most reasonable lie so that they can get the least punishment or at most get freedom. With his story, I don't see him getting free. I don't know. I'm not sure. If you're a lawyer, let me know. If a case is filed in court for first-degree murder and then it is proven not to be first degree murder, does the person go free, or would the judge automatically just sentence the accused on a third degree basis, even though the filing was not for third degree? I was always of the opinion that in Nigeria here, the judge will automatically just give him a third degree sentencing. But from what I've seen on some stories or in some movies, if the prosecution go to court to file a first degree murder and it is proven that it's not first degree, they toss the case out. You will have to come back again and argue for third degree. So I'm not sure if that would be his case. Because if that would be the case, then he might taste freedom for a while. But if that's not the case, he will get a lesser sentencing, probably 10 years. I don't know how many years is third degree, because that is what his story is giving. His story is just trying to dilute it and blame someone else for every other thing that would make it look like a premeditated murder. As far as he's concerned, it was an accident. So every other thing, from collecting money from the family to burying her body, was done by the Egbon. I don't think any Egbon exists anyway, but maybe there's an Egbon. Me personally, because even back then, people felt that he was working with people. So if there's really an Egbon, then the person was actually working with him. So I would believe that if the Egbon shows up out of nowhere, they were both doing it together. It's just now that he's throwing the Egbon under the bus because, hopefully the Egbon is never caught. Now, let's talk about him actually being free. Now that he's out of prison, now that he has made bail, obviously, he's at, I don't know if he's at flight risk. I doubt. But he had shorties who signed for him. I don't know. That is probably how you can make bail. Somebody will stand in and sign that you will not escape, you will not leave the country. And whenever it's time to show up in court, you will show up. So that is really how they do get to make bail. But I don't know if he's smart, because people are already spotting him. People are already seeing him. People are already reaching out on our DM saying that they are seeing him walking free. If I were the police, I would have kept him on house arrest. People shouldn't be seeing him for his own safety. This is not because he's a killer. We agree, innocent until proven guilty. But him coming out free is him putting himself in danger. Then again, he's an alleged serial killer, so everybody should be afraid of him. But the point is, Christian Idowu is not the only person that he was allegedly accused of killing. We also talked about Sarah Jonathan, a Facebook friend of his, whom we saw them talking on each other's comments. This girl also went missing in a similar way Christian Idowu went missing, way before Christian Idowu, and her story did not even make the news until Christian Idowu's story came up, and a picture of Christian Idowu being propped and snapped for ransom came up. That was when her family also released the same way Christian Idowu was propped and wrapped up and snapped for ransom, was how she was also snapped and propped up for ransom. And this turned out to be his friend on Facebook. Now, I've not heard anything about her case. The last I heard, the mother of this Sarah Jonathan was going to go to the police to bring up her case. So I don't know if they ever brought up her story. I don't know. I didn't get an update. So if you know anything regarding Sarah Jonathan's updates as regards Ayomide, let me know. We didn't also hear if her body was ever recovered, if he was actually ever questioned about her whereabouts, if he admitted to it. Because now he's just fighting for his freedom as regards Christian Idowu's case. So this court case is just strictly for Christian Idowu. But everything that happened to her pretty much happened to Christian Idowu, and they had that boy in common. So him being free, to me, is risky, because if loved ones of this girl are unfortunately unable to find her true justice, they might be tempted to take laws in their own hands. And I don't know where he is in Lagos, but if he's in Ikorodu still, and it's in Ikorodu that they are seeing him, boy, you're in trouble. Because I feel like it's risky. People would really want to lynch him. People would want to take matters into it. So maybe he's secured. Maybe he's somewhere where he's safe. Hopefully that's the case till the entire court case has been concluded. But him not being in prison is risky. Freedom is sweet, but him not being in prison is just, I don't know how he's going to even face society again. It's not like his case is one of those ones that is minute. I don't know if you get. There are some cases where it's just mere accusation, no confession, no images, no damning evidence, your betting platform is not on display, all your cryptic posts on Facebook did not come back to haunt you, your sister did not die. Those cases, yes, we can see the accused person walking free, and we won't be bothered because there weren't enough details. Maybe one of those cases where somebody goes home and sees somebody dead and then the police accuses you. Those people can make bail and walk amongst us, and we'll be like, okay, fine, we'll wait for the court case. But for this Ayomide guy, the situation with Christina Idowu is damning. It's messy. There is screenshots. There is voice notes. There is his betting platform account. There is his mobile phone showing the chats with him and the victim's family. There's a whole lot that just shows that the odds are against him. That is why his freedom or him making bail, and I also hear that him making bail, he might probably return back to school. Remember, he's in 300 level, so he has to keep going to school. Oh boy. Oh, I cannot imagine his classmates having to sit next to him. Somebody that everybody has thought is a serial killer. It's going to be an interesting time in his school. Ayomide, if you're watching this video, go back to school. Just enjoy the moment. You will go to prison for sure, but now that you have your freedom, milk it for what it's worth. If I were you, just milk it for what it's worth. You know, create a YouTube channel, tell your side of the story. You know, create an Instagram, go for interviews, get famous, make money, and probably leave something for your family behind so that when you are in jail serving time, your family will be, eating from it. And if luckily for you, you get manslaughter sentencing, that way you come out of prison to a reputation. But for you to try to say you want to convince us, given everything we've seen, that Christina Idowu's death was an accident, I don't know who you're fooling. I don't know who you think you're fooling. But even if the court finds you not guilty, society may not. Because the thing with court cases is the best story wins. The best argument wins. The best evidence wins. But we know society would have a different opinion. And yes, your right will be granted back to you to walk free, but you will always be that guy that will be looking like, that's the guy who... Girls would probably be wary, okay, yeah, I don't know. It's life might be difficult for you. Unless you can prove to us where the egg born is. Even at that, still, it's not... I don't see this boy getting out of it. At most, manslaughter, still. He will still do time. If his lawyer does the Lord's or the devil's work very well, he will get out after a few years, but nonetheless, he will do time. I would also love to attend some of the court hearings of this case, because his news story is interesting. I would love to know what the prosecution is going to also say as regards his news story, because clearly we know what his news story is doing. It's to reduce it down to manslaughter. So I don't believe a word. I believe his first and original confession. That is the truth. This one is damage control. Let's try our best to see how we can reduce your sentencing to not life and not death. I just think that that's what they're trying to do. I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep him out so that he can enjoy freedom, and then the lawyer, we know how Nigerian lawyers do, they will drag the case, delay the case, drag it on and on and on and on for years. For years. This boy could actually be free for 10 whole years before the court eventually finds him guilty of whether manslaughter or murder. By then, he's probably in his 30s, and there's a way that they will frustrate the case to the point, because we've seen situations where the case gets frustrated and there's a dead end, and he just stays bailed. He stays bailed. He's pretty much free. Maybe he would probably not leave Nigeria, but he can leave Lagos, I assume. I don't know if he's confined to Lagos State, but I'm sure he can probably go to another state and have a new life. These people don't need to leave the country. Flight risk, they don't have to need to leave the country to escape going to court. He just has to move to Akwa Ibom, enter bus and go to Kaduna. I'm sure people in Kaduna don't even know his face. He will go to Kaduna, find a new life, get married, have kids, and nobody probably change his name, change his face, because he has a regular face. He doesn't have his face is not that spectacular. He has a face that you could literally see on the road and it looks like everyone else. So he could literally blend into society and nobody will remember. Dye his hair, put a tribal mark on his face, probably grow beards, or maybe lose his beards, change his style of dressing. If he has money, a little Botox and fillers, pierce his ear, pierce his nose, and he's a totally different person with different NIN, with different ID card, moves to Abakiliki or goes to Owerri or just probably move to, probably let's say, go to Kebbi State and we'll be here looking for him for 10, 20 years and they will never find him. He's gone. They can even fake his death safe, whereas he's still alive. I think that's what they're trying to do. Maybe that's what it's like. Let's just see. Like, again, innocent until proven guilty. Problem or the sad thing is that court cases usually take very long. That is one problem I have. It's not one of those things that will take 2-3 months. We've seen court cases last 5, 7, 8, 10 years. So this case could drag on. There are people who are in prison for so long now, they've not gotten out because they've not even gone to court yet. So his case, I think that's what his lawyer would do. They would try to drag it on to make the police find the Egbon. And since the Egbon doesn't exist, this boy will just remain free. And this case may probably never be resolved. Because who the hell is the Egbon? And we just gotta watch and see how this unfolds. Let's see how this unfolds. Let's just see how this goes. I mean, I didn't see this coming at all. And I'm glad that I'm hearing this update. So let's hope, let's just watch and see. Let's just see how it goes. We will be following this story. So make sure you are following, make sure you're subscribed. Save this video, share it to your friends because I plan to keep following this story. I plan to. But the problem now is if indeed he has the killing blood in him, like let's assume all that is alleged is true, that he actually kills many people and take their phones and extort from them, what are the chances that he will not kill again? Remember, he killed this girl because of financial problems. And given the economy now, baby girl, baby, given the economy now, I don't know how he's going to make money. He's most likely going to kill again. There is a chance that he might strike again. Could it be why the court granted him freedom? They want to see if he will kill again. Let's just see, Sha. Let's just see. It's just a matter of time. If that is who he is, it will show off again. If he gets an opportunity to be with a girl who does not know his previous story, he might get tempted to do it again. Maybe he'll come up with a new style or a new way of doing it to cover his tracks completely. But if the urge to kill is in him, it will resurface. Remember, he was accused of Christian Idowu, the Sarah Jonathan, and his own sister. And then when we went to his Facebook, many people started texting all the girls that he used to comment, all the girls that were his friends. We noticed that many of them have stopped posting for many years. So let's assume worst case scenario, allegedly he did more girls. Then he has the genetics of him wanting to kill. So now that he is free, if indeed is who we think he is, then it won't be long before he kills again. But he should be smarter than that. He should be. Let's just give him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. He will probably suppress that urge for a while till everybody has forgotten. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. Let's just see. And also, Ayomide, if you're watching, stay clear. People are seeing you. People have seen you. People have spotted you. You can't think, I know you're free now, but you just can't be walking down the streets of Lagos and think people would not see you and talk. People will see you and they will point at you. And you might meet somebody one day, probably Christian Idowu's uncle or cousin or boyfriend who is holding a grudge against you and they'll stab you. So stay away from the public. Wherever you are, keep being there. Protect yourself because we need to get to the bottom. We want to see you win or lose the case so that we can rest. And that won't happen if you keep going out and showing yourself. Don't go to parties. Don't go to any invitation. Request that your schooling or your classes should be online for you. Don't go to school. You have your right to attend classes, so file a petition to let your school give you your exams, your classes on your own, privately, or you do it online. Don't put yourself out there in the crowd because it's risky, in my opinion. is what I feel. And I agree, innocent until proven guilty. So, in as much as I have my reservations, you have your rights, and we will just watch and see how the court handles this. But for the meantime, you need to stay low. Lay low and stop coming out. Let people not see you. Be indoors. Press your phone, watch TV. I don't know. Pray. You can bet. I think there's more betting platforms now since the last time we spoke. So we just have to see.